Rolling, it's the Major League World Heavyweight Champion, your boy Hammer, Alexander Hammerstone, and you are turning in to True Heel Heat. And if you turn it off, I'll hit you with the Nightmare Pendulum.
What's up, everyone? It's the Interview Queen Alicia Toot here, and be sure to watch True Heel Heat.
Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip-hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with True Heel Heat Wrestling. Holla at me.
Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom SP3. We are live on the True Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for our TNA Rebellion 2025 preview. Breaking down this Sunday show from Los Angeles, California, TNA's second major pay-per-view of 2025. And I am joined by my favorite person, it seems, to be talking about pro wrestling over the last couple of weeks. You saw her on our WWE WrestleMania 41 preview. You see her every Thursday on the TNA Impact post show on Fightful. You see her every Saturday on the AEW Collision post show on Fightful. And you see her on the Twitch and everywhere else, across the social media world, talking about pro wrestling as only she can. It is Cresta Starr. How are you feeling?
And you see me now. I'm feeling fantastic. SP3, I said this to you offline, I'll say it to you on air. You and Lyric are becoming some of my favorite people to talk wrestling with. My face always hurts because I laugh so much when we talk about wrestling. So I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me again with True Heel Heat. Let's be heels. Let's get some heat. Heat.
Hey. Yes, we are out here. We appreciate y'all for joining us live. Appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. Either way, show your appreciation back the simplest way possible. Drop the thumbs up on this video. You can also share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you're new to the True Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. We want to thank you all. If you're already subscribed, we hit 23,000 subscribers today, so appreciate all the support. So if you're new, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified, because we're always live here on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. And of course, you can sound off in the live chat if you are joining us live. We'll try to highlight as many of your comments as possible. But of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here, you can send a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. It goes back to the contributors that you see on screen with us here, and we always appreciate the support. Got a couple of folks already in the chat chiming in. We got Hassan who says, let's roll up for TNA Wrestling Rebellion preview. We also got an Ego. Kill him with a smile, kill him with a smile. I Make Beats, he says, let's go all Ego. He also says, hey, SP3 and Cresta. He says, out here, looking good on the YouTubes. And he also says, he said, SP3, I saw you briefly on In the Weeds, ITW, before. Did you have a break, sir? Had like 45 minutes break. That's all I got. Got to annoy my daughter a little bit, sit next to her, and she kept leaving out the room. So I would just follow her to the next room until she just said, Dada, get out of here. So yeah, my daughter's pretty mean to me, but I love her. So I love her.
Now you're getting worked. Honestly, I live. The fact that your daughter's the real true Hill Heat, that's good booking.
We're gonna make a t-shirt that says shut up, Dada. Because that's all she says when I'm doing this. She comes in, she'll slam the door in my face and tell me, shut up, Dada.
Honestly, with some Don Callis glasses, that would move merch. That would move merch. That'd move merch. You can have that for free.
Yes, that's free. It's gonna move. It's gonna move. We got Chief in the chat who says, I know this may be off topic, but do you guys think WWE is gonna buy out Joe Hendry's TNA contract after WrestleMania appearance? No, because they don't need to. His contract expires at the end of the year. Yeah, he's gonna go there anyway. Why would they pay extra for something they're gonna get tomorrow?
Yeah, like do what you gotta do over there. Once you're done, I love Joe Hendry. I love TNA. But why would I buy the cow out when the cow's literally going to walk over here in a couple of months for probably less than what I'd have to do to buy his contract out? Oh, Joe Hendry's a star, but I'll wait.
Wait. And WWE's the pretty girl, the pretty girl at the mall. Like, why would they have to buy out the guy's contract? The guy got to try to get here. He got to get with me. I don't have to try to get with him. You know, come on. What are we talking about? We got Shadi in the chat who says, my dog. He also says he's cooling right now. So thank you for joining us today, Shadi. Appreciate seeing you in the chat. Appreciate all of y'all. If you haven't already, drop the thumbs up, show us some love. But TNA Rebellion this Sunday. Cresta, we talked about it a little bit on that TNA wrestling post show. I told you off air that my face is still hurting and my head hurts a little bit from yesterday. I was even shouting you out on In the Weeds today with Jeremy, because I was like, Jeremy's another person who doesn't take wrestling seriously. And I always enjoy people who don't take wrestling seriously and just have fun with. But I did bring up that we had someone get roofied. We had Kendrick Lamar references, and that's my new dance move. Like, watch me at the next family function. That's what I'm gonna do. When the song hit, I'm just gonna hit the Jeff Hardy on him, the Willow Wisp on him.
Two Jeff Hardy. Hey, mix it up. Mix it up.
This is the Willow the Wisp now. This is not the Jeff Hardy. This is the Willow the Wisp. Willow the Wisp. Willow the Wisp. Willow the Wisp.
Distinct, not like us. Different than we are. Legally distinct, different than we are. Song, yes.
The white people version is different than we are.
Not like us, Kendrick Lamar. Different than we are. Willow Wisp. Willow the Wisp.
Different than we are. I am solely stealing that. Not like us. Different than we are. They're just
the legally distinct. Not like us is unlike. They are unlike us. We are different.
Unlike us. Unlike us. Unlike us. They're different.
They're unlike us. They're unlike us.
They're unlike us. They're unlike us. I love it. I love it. We're here. We're here every week. But yes. We had a great time talking about TNA wrestling last night with Impact. But as we always do with our pay-per-view previews here, how excited are you for TNA Rebellion this Sunday? 0 to 10, kind of put a number on.
I'm more excited to talk to you. I have to get the fan out. I'm hot from laughing so much. We just started. We just started. I have to bring out the fan like Jesus Christ.
It's hot in here.
Yeah, these lights, I'm laughing. Look, I'm looking at the card right now. I'm not so much excited for the pay-per-view itself, like the matches, but I am excited for the series that it's going to kick off going TNA forward. So I would say overall for the card itself, maybe 6.5 out of 10. But the way, just looking at in particular Mike Santana versus Mustafa Ali, whether this goes win or loss for either guy, the next chapter is about to be a banger. And then that next Thursday coming up, TNA is going to be live. Also, again, I'm excited to see who Elijah's going to wrestle. Steve Maclin versus Eric Young. Like this, there are things I'm like, okay, I've seen Steve Maclin versus Eric Young. I've done this, But going forward, I want to see how that dynamic's going to change. So for the pay-per-view, what it represents, about a 9 out of 10. But for the matches itself, 6.5 out of 10. What about USP3?
Yeah, I think I'm around the same numbers as your ladder. I'll go as high as 7. I feel like, yeah, the fallout from Rebellion is going to be interesting to watch, because I think that Rebellion, so like if you have to put it in like WWE terms, Rebellion is kind of like it's not like their WrestleMania. Their WrestleMania is Bound for Glory.
Slammiversary is their WrestleMania, in my opinion.
You think Slammiversary? I think Bound for Glory. That's what they've always said is their biggest show of the year. So I think Slammiversary, I think is because it's in the summer. I think of it as SummerSlam. This is more like Rebellion's like Survivor Series. Like it's not like whatever the January.
I was gonna say Elimination Chamber. I would say this is more like Elimination Chamber. Yikes! I'm sorry. There was a pay-per-view last week. Come on now, this is Elimination Chamber, baby. You lucky I didn't say Great Balls of Fire. Fast lane.
I was trying to give it some credit. I was like, Survivor Series. It's not. It's a part of the Big Four, but it's the fourth.
Wait, is this a part of the Big Four for them?
Yeah, this is their four major pay-per-views. Is whatever the January one is, which is sometimes Hard to Kill, sometimes Genesis. Then there's this. Then there's Slammiversary, and then there's Bound for Glory.
Yo, I'm trying to do Steiner math in my head because I'm like, but what about which one has
that's a special.
No,
yeah, that's a special.
Like no, but what about the Ultimate X match? That would be in Bound for Glory.
Yeah.
TNA got too many damn specials, pay-per-views, live at too many damn shows. Okay,
I started confusing you.
And I'm also thinking, like, wait, is that AEW? No, that's. I've had it. I'm old. I can't keep up. I'm old.
Okay, so in AEW terms, AEW's Big Four would be Revolution, Double or Nothing. Well, now they have a Big Five. They got All In, All Out, and then they got Full Gear. Those are like the original pay-per-views. They added in everything else has kind of been added in over the years. Forbidden Door would be 6, but that's their Big 5. And
that's
their biggest show of the year. Yeah. And their big show is All In now. You could say 1A, 1B with Revolution. Revolution or All In is usually the bigger show, the best show of the year for AEW. In those terms, Rebellion would be All Out.
Okay.
Or Full Gear.
But wait a minute. I'm like, but what about Beach Break? No. Okay, but what about Grand Slam? Because Grand Slam is always because Grand Slam isn't any. I'm like,
that's a TV special.
I'm old. Okay, stop naming TV specials. Just is this AEW on a good AEW?
See, this is the easiest one because I'm so much of a New Japan fan. Rebellion would be Power Struggle for New Japan. If you're a New Japan fan, it would be Power Struggle. It's not Wrestle Kingdom. It's not Dominion. It's not even
everybody knows Wrestle Kingdom
or Security. Yeah, exactly. Wrestle Kingdom is WrestleMania. It's All In. Like those are the big stadium shows that these promotions do. Rebellion is the fourth. It's the fourth of the big four. And I agree with Terrence. He says that Hard to Kill Genesis is Royal Rumble. Yeah, they need to add a Battle Royal to that January pay-per-view. Since they already, I said it on In the Weeds earlier today. I was like, TNA need to stop acting like they in an abusive relationship with WWE. They getting cucked by WWE. WWE out here fucking AAA in front of them, saying y'all can get the Worlds Collide pay-per-view. Y'all can't.
Here, take something. Like, you like that? Shut up. Honestly, if they did an Ultimate X match every January, that'd be, I love Ultimate X matches. I don't care. I think they are one of the most innovative matches with the cross at the top. I love it. If you did something like that every January, or I know this is going to be a relic, but the original Bound for Glory tournament and have it culminate in January, I'd be with it. So you can have something towards the end of the year. Yeah, people are taking time off for Christmas or whatever it is, but you could start it in October. So this way, when they have a long break, when you come back January, February, you could do the Bound for Glory with the people's points to say, I've had time to train up, and the montages would be.
It's actually a good idea. I wouldn't mind that. I really missed the Bound for Glory series. I thought that was such a cool concept. I was so mad when they stopped doing it. They only did it like 1 year and then just stopped. I was like, why?
My little brother put me onto it, and I recently watched it. So I'm like, why don't they do this anymore? But TNA on TNA.
Round robin tournaments are awesome. The only thing better than a regular tournament is a round robin tournament. Everybody who's in New Japan fan
Daniel
knows.
Garcia in AEW. That man lost damn near everything, but he still came out a star afterwards. And I think you could do that with a lot of talent in not AEW, in TNA, who aren't doing things, or people like Frankie Kazarian, who's just kind of being uncle who ain't. Kazarian ain't got no business being here like Eddie Kingston. Why are you here, bro? Get out of here, bro. Okay.
Yo, Unk, what's going on? Unk?
Yo, he's uncle. He's not Unk, okay? He's like Uncle Kazarian. Don't you gotta go play Pinochle?
So I think Cresta can answer this one for y'all. We got Chief who says, I haven't watched TNA since Bound for Glory. Is this pay-per-view a great time to jump back in?
Looking at the card, if you want some real good wrestling, looking at you, Chief, in particular, the Mike Santana, Mustafa Ali match is going to be all that, a bag of chips, a chopped cheese, and an Arizona for $3. And that don't happen. That don't happen. So that's going to be number one. Number two, the Steve Maclin, Eric Young match has the potential to be really good if the Northern Armory doesn't get involved. If you are someone who likes NXT, the Fatal Influence Rosemary match should be cute as well as the four-way. This card itself.
Oh shit! Something happened off camera. I just saw your reaction. Your reaction was just like, what the fuck?
I have two cats. I just heard a bunch of things just fall. And I have on pretty good headphones, and I heard it through the headphones. So I know whatever fell is a lot of stuff that just fell.
She's like, oh, dear Lord. But
it's a good time to watch TNA. I'm getting worked, brother. I'm getting worked by my old promotion.
Get worked up. Get worked up. But yes, we got to talk about the matches on the. Do you need to go check on it? I can hold down the fort for a little bit if you want to go check. Yeah, go check.
Let me just make sure this cat isn't hurt.
Live YouTube, folks. That's what it's all about. We got I made Beast who says, I hope the cats are okay. I agree. Yes, that's why I was like, give you time. Go check on everything. We got Trent who says Joe Hendry might retain since he was just in WrestleMania. Well, Trent, that would be assuming too much because this is TNA. I said any respectable company would not allow their world champion to get beat on another person's show, despite how much exposure they get. Oh, we got the cute kitty. Oh, it's all white cat. Look at that, adorable. Oh,
I got the culprit in question. This is a Johnny. A Johnny is about to disrespect her surroundings. And it's me. I'm the surrounding. If you could see this one. All right, she's had it. She was fine. Oh, not the headphones. Nah, Johnny was fine. She just knocked over a bike helmet. And when I went over there, she was sniffing it. It looks like she wanted to go sit inside of it because she likes to be a snail. You can't find her because she's in everything.
Love that. Love that. Oh, Johnny. So cute. So cute. Love all
cats,
cats.
Man.
Yes, we have all the people. I may be showing love to the cats. She's like, make sure the animals are not crushed.
I'm the one getting squashed. Don't get it twisted. Let me bring out the treats. I will get jumped. It will be a 2v1 and I'm losing every time. Every time.
I was like that. Me and the family went to the park and we had seeds for the pigeons because my daughter loves pigeons. And man, those pigeons jumped my missus. My missus was getting jumped by the pigeons, yo. It's crazy out here. Crazy out here. Funny. These animals.
That's not funny. It's not funny. But I can see one pigeon like, oh, this lady got seeds. Yo.
Yo, they squad up. Squad. They went in. I ain't never seen nothing like that. That was crazy. But we're going to talk about some TNA Rebellion. Let us know what you think. Let us know who you think is going to win. And, of course, if you're feeling generous, send those super chat donations as well. We're going to start with the pre-show for TNA Rebellion, which the aforementioned 6-woman tag team matchup or 6 knockout tag team matchup, as we're going to have WWE NXT's own Fatal Influence, Fallon Henley, JC Jane, and Jasmine Nix going up against Team TNA here, as you got Xia Brookside, Lei Ying Lee, and Rosemary. This one was set up due to the Fatal Influence facing off with Xia Brookside and Lei Ying Lee. Xia went one-on-one with Jasmine Nix 2 weeks ago, where Rosemary, who has had this weird kind of relationship with Xia Brookside ever since the two women went up against one another last month. It was Rosemary who was disqualified in the matchup after spitting the poison mist in Xia's eyes. But since then, she has basically been stalking and admiring Xia and was there to help her out against Fatal Influence, as Xia picked up the win over Jasmine Nix after Rosemary spit the poison mist in JC Jane's face this time. Those two women went one-on-one on last night's show due to interference from Fatal Influence. Jasmine Nix picked up the victory over Rosemary, and then post-match, Fatal Influence jumped Rosemary until Xia and Lei made the save to set up this trios matchup on the countdown to Rebellion starting at 7 p.m. Eastern time this Sunday. Cresta, what have you thought about Fatal Influence coming over from NXT, being on TNA as of late, and who do you think wins on Sunday?
I'm going to say something because I don't watch NXT, so please bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. I think Fatal Influence gets the win here. Number one, because they have a name. And, you know, teams with a name of a group, come on now. They're going to have an entrance and everything. But also, this is, you guys get the win here because Metaphor is not winning later. And that's the one I want to win. That's the one I want to have win. And that's going to piss me off. But I digress. So I do think Fatal Influence does get the win here. I don't know how they wrestle. From the match I seen last night, JC Jane is stiff. That girl just be kicking people. I don't want to get kicked by that. That being said, I still think they win here. I think it's going to be a good match, but I think Fatal Influence win here.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. I think Fatal Influence will pick up the victory here. They don't win much on NXT from the time that I'm just saying. They ain't no. That's why I called. What did I call them yesterday on the post show? I was like, they're Temu Toxic Attraction. They're Temu Toxic Attraction. They don't win much like Toxic Attraction. Toxic Attraction was winning every week. They were dominating and pissing off all the real wrestling fans with their domination over the women's division. That ain't Fatal Influence. Fatal Influence won about like 3 matches from what I've seen in the last like 6 months. But I digress. I think they get the win here because it's TNA and they're on a higher pecking order than the women that they're facing. So
I'm gonna spit out my water because honestly, when someone just says that's TNA, I know you're about to say the most fuck shit.
That's TNA. That's TNA. It's like you're talking about the uncle who's out of work and always drinks too much at the cookout.
But he's not the creepy uncle. You know what I mean? He's just like,
yeah, he's not the creepy uncle, but it's just like he's the disappointment uncle. Like, that's Uncle TNA.
When you not drinking and you got your stuff together, bro, you could own Ford. You could do whatever you want. But that bottle always got you by the neck. always, man. Always. And we be like, yo, you could put it down. And you like, all right. And then we not looking, this is you. Like, Uncle TNA. Yeah, this is Uncle TNA. That's literally what it is. Uncle TNA. You could be great, Uncle TNA. But you getting your way. TNA, screw TNA.
Screw TNA. If you learn anything from this preview, you're going to know that. But also, I believe this is also on the countdown to Rebellion because that's how they presented it on last night's show. It's going to be the Walk with Elias Open Challenge.
Elijah.
No, I'm sorry. This is the same thing that I do when I talk about NXT and I say Ricky Starks. And I'm like, damn it, Ricky Saint. Walk with Elijah Open Challenge, as Elijah has set an open challenge to anyone in the wrestling industry. This could be a free agent coming in to TNA. There was that report recently that TNA had signed a bunch of new talent to come into the promotion. Could be someone from WWE NXT. Could be someone returning to TNA. So what have you thought about Elijah so far coming into TNA in January and being here over the last couple of months? And who do you think answers his open challenge on Sunday?
I'm going to answer that backwards. TNA has the opportunity to do the funniest thing TNA has the opportunity to do the funniest thing ever and have Ezekiel come out. Yo, just have Zeke come out. Just have Zeke come out. Just one top for the one top. One top for the one top. Okay, jokes aside, I don't know. I can't remember who I said last night who has been Trent Seven, because he's been away for a while. Maybe it could be probably someone from NXT hopping over. I can't think of who it would be. So whoever it is, Elijah's winning. So let's put that out there. Elijah's winning. That being also said, I have been thoroughly enjoying Elijah in TNA. Wrestling bards are always going to do it for me. Joe Hendry and Elijah, to me, as a tag team, first of all, I would not want to wrestle them because you're going to sing a song about how you jumped me, whooped my ass, took my sneakers and put it on the wire, and then you slept with my mom. And then everyone's going to be chanting, and he slept with your mom. No. You got one guy playing lead guitar, the other guy playing backup guitar, and now I'm just sitting in the back like this. Nah, man. I liked it. I like him. I know he's eventually going to turn on Joe, but I want them to do a tag team where they're singing songs.
I wanted him to go against either Scotty Too Hottie or Scott Steiner, and he just starts singing, Scotty doesn't know that Fiona and me live in my bed every Sunday.
So on the Indies, Joe Hendry did wrestle Scotty Too Hottie, and he did make a song about it, and I remember it, and he's like, oh, the worm's too slow. Oh, I shite people's elbows.
That's actually pretty good. I like that. I like that a lot.
Bro, I'm here for it. I want the both of them to tag team, take it off the Nemeths, because they're going to take it off the Hardys. And no one, I wouldn't even bat an eye. So if Joe Hendry loses to get another belt.
Good work. I am going to predict who answers this open challenge. I think I said Bishop Dyer yesterday on the post show because I always say Bishop Dyer for everything. Bishop Dyer, apologist. Baron Corbin, apologist here. But I do agree with you. The person who answers this should probably lose to Elijah. Maybe they get a big pop, maybe they don't. I'm going to go with another musical artist in wrestling.
Not Travis
Rick
Scott.
Boogs.
Don't.
No,
Oh.
Rick Boogs.
No, because I don't want him to lose. No, but three bars on the same team. Dun, 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 dun. No, not Rick Boogs. Not Rick. I like
Rick
that,
Boogs.
but not Rick Boogs. No.
Rick Boogs.
No,
Rick
because
Boogs.
He can't lose. The system has to come out and interfere. He can't lose. I don't like that. Men don't like that. That's a good shout.
Yep. I was like, I put some thought into this one. I was like, I gotta say something different from what I said on the post show. And I was like, who's a musical artist in wrestling? I was like, Rick Boogs don't got a job. Rick Boogs can be here.
My name's Rick. Boo. Watch too much wrestling.
And he's gonna be doing his air guitar as Elijah really plays guitar.
He's gonna play the air guitar while Joe Hendry be like, honestly, yes. Those three together can take out the system and write a song about it.
See? We're here for it. But let's talk about the match that I know you're looking forward to the most. You talked about it earlier. It is the staple of TNA wrestling, the premier stipulation. Ultimate X makes his return at TNA Rebellion as the X Division champion. Moose defends against Leon Slater. Matt Cardona making his return to TNA. El Rio del Vikingo making his return to TNA for the first time since he suffered an injury back in October. Casey Navarro of First Class and returning to TNA for a second time after his debut in TNA at Unbreakable against Moose. It will be Sidney Akeem, the former Reggie. All of these guys, not much of a story going into this one. I told you one of my big nitpicks for last night's TNA Impact was I didn't think they promoted the Ultimate X enough, but the Ultimate X is the Ultimate X. It's going to deliver on the night. Moose has had a solid reign as TNA X Division champion, really remodeling it once again as like the 1B title in TNA. Leon Slater has been on the chase for the TNA X Division championship for a number of months now and has several victories in multi-man action against Moose and the system. Matt Cardona has never been X Division champion, but is a former digital media champion. Elio Del Vikingo had a hell of a matchup the last time he was in TNA for the X Division title against Speedball Mike Bailey. Casey Navarro defeated Diener to qualify for this matchup. And like I said, Sidney Akeem came up just short against Moose for the title at Unbreakable. So everybody's got their little story here. What do you think about the field for this Ultimate X and who wins on Sunday?
Not me, not knowing that Sidney Akeem was Reggie until you put that graphic. I was like, okay. Storyline wise, it only makes sense for Leon Slater to win. Either Leon or Moose. Just purely based off storyline. I know this is about to be a spot fest, and that's what I'm here for. Yeah. Casey Navarro and El Hijo de Vikingo is going to hoop like Harlem Globetrotters, like that kind of hoop. It's about to hoop. It's gonna be good. Matt Cardona is in there to be a big meaty man with a big meaty Moose, and that's what we all deserve, and that's what we need. That's what we need in this life. I want it to be Leon Slater. I think it's time that Moose moves on from it. I also think it's time that the system breaks up, but the system is in a system reboot right now, and they've been cheating to win, beating up everybody, so it's very possible that Moose could win. That being said, it only makes sense for Leon Slater to win, unless Casey Navarro wins, and I could see that working because First Class has been pushed, whether they're losers or not, whatever, but they've been pushed a lot, and it would upset so many people. AJ Francis would be insufferable. So I do think it's Leon Slater or Moose, but you could put it on Casey Navarro for the memes. It'd be a very TNA thing to do, but it's not like Casey can't wrestle, and it's not like he can't cut a promo, and it's not like him and AJ won't be the most insufferable people, and it would give you another heel faction to kind of whatever happens with the system. If that happens, it happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hope it's Leon Slater, but if you really want to put it on Casey Navarro, cowards.
Hey, I don't mind that. I have always been a fan of Casey Navarro since I discovered him on the indie scene. I think that, there's a couple of people that could have a outside chance. Maybe Vikingo is here for a little while. The WWE put in the call to TNA to push Vikingo as part of their acquisition of AAA. And we all know that
Luchadors lose in TNA. I'm so sorry. Luchadors come to TNA to lose.
I know. Unfortunately, that's why I'm not picking him. I love Leon Slater so much, and I really want him to be the one who dethrones Moose, but it might not be in an Ultimate X match. Maybe it does need to be a singles matchup. And I have quite a few title changes I think are going to happen on this card, so I am going to go with Moose to retain. This is Moose's first Ultimate X match. This would really kind of solidify him as X Division champion here by getting the win over 5 other challengers in this matchup. So I'll go
Moose
with
is mad tall. He don't even got to jump up to get that. He's just going to put his fucking hand up.
He just tippy toe. He's like,
him and Matt Cardona are literally just going to be pushing these other young men like, yo, I'm 9 feet tall. I get out of here.
Matt Cardona, I think, is just here to take some bumps. He's going to be bumping all over the place for all these high-flying guys.
He wants y'all to hear his theme music. He's always ready.
Yes. Sidney Akeem's going to be doing backflips and cutters all over the place. Yeah, it should be a fun one. It is going to be a fun spot fest. Probably should open the main card. That's why I have
that would be good. That would be good. Yeah. Or the only other place I can see this is right before the main event, to give you to pump up the crowd, but I would open up with this. Yeah.
It's always a great opener, the Ultimate X. But another match that could open if they do decide, like you said, to make the Ultimate X later in the card is the Trios matchup that was confirmed on last night's episode of Impact, as we're going to see the System reboot come to Rebellion as the System's Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards, and JDC, with Alicia Edwards in their corner, face the Rascals, Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz, as well as Ace Austin, with WWE Hall of Famer and former X Division champion Sean Waltman. This all came together over the last couple of weeks. The System picked up a victory over Trey and Wentz and took out Wentz for a couple of weeks here. So Trey was forced to team with his former arch nemesis Ace Austin to face the System. The System still picked up a victory on last night's Impact thanks to the numbers game. So Trey and Ace had no other choice but to call up a friend to have some backup against the System members. So they called up Sean Waltman, who has become somewhat of a mentor to the Rascals as of late. Ace Austin and the Rascals, of course, came together in their rivalry against Wes Lee and Tyson and Tyreek that culminated at Sacrifice. So here they'll be teaming up again against the main faction in TNA. What have you thought about the whole System reboot storyline, Cresta, that's been going on over the last month? And who do you think wins this one?
I think Ace Austin and the Rascals, even Chris Bay, are very DX coded. Like, if they got together and did a 4-man group where they were doing shenanigans and antics like that, I wouldn't even bat an eye. I'd be like, oh yeah, like, so Sean Waltman with them absolutely makes sense. Absolutely makes sense.
There should be D-Generation. What generation are we in? Z? We're in Generation Z. They're D-Generation Z.
But I think everyone in that group would be considered a millennial, like a very young millennial, because I don't think anyone there is under like 25.
So they're D-Generation Y.
D-Generation Y! I will never grow up. Honestly, I will never grow up. They should all come out in black and green. And as soon as Sean Waltman would come out, Yo, somebody said "Scissor Me Daddy Ass" is just to suck it for the next generation. And honestly,
I mean,
look at me at my big age
bravo.
going like this.
Bravo to them.
So I do think the Rascals and Ace Austin pick up the win here. My only caveat is because the system has been doing the system reboot and they've been winning, but they have been winning. I think the big indicator is going to be if Moose loses his title. I think the X Division, not the X Division, I think the system are just going to be losers for the rest of the night.
Yeah, that would be a good sign to tell who's going to win this matchup, is if Moose retains or not. Either way, though, I think if you have a Hall of Fame, a WWE Hall of Famer in your corner, and you're bringing out Sean Waltman for a reason, you want him to be somewhat of a difference maker for the team. So I'm hoping that, yes, the Rascals and Ace Austin can continue their run basically they're undefeated as a trio after that win over Wesley and Tyson and Tyreek last month at Sacrifice. I hope they pick up the victory here. At this point, TNA just needs to get TNA Trios Championships. They're already stealing all the other ideas from AEW.
Okay, well, here's the thing, right? Like, I'm trying to think, okay, who would be another trios besides the system?
They can get all the NXT trios, duh.
Right.
And wrestling barbs, like you said, wrestling.
That's
barbs,
true. Wrestling barbs. Yes. But then they'd be forever champion. Listen, I'm okay with a trios title for men and women if you have an inflated roster, which I will say WWE and AEW absolutely do. TNA's roster, I want to say, is inflated, but people here today, gone tomorrow, and I feel like it's a revolving door sometimes. So
I came up with a few more. You got Eric Young and Sinner and Saints, the Northern Armory.
Oh, you got Northern Armory. Okay.
You got Mustafa Ali and his campaign with the Gray Hands.
Nah, the Gray Hands are trash. They're awful hands, as a matter of fact. They're not healing hands, they're hurting hands, and not the way we hurt people. Like they touch stuff and it withers and dies. I don't think
people. You got Leon Slater and the Hardys. Hey, that counts. That counts. It counts. We got. I'm trying to think of any more. I think there was one more.
I mean, you could do the system, JDC, Eddie Edwards, and Brian Myers. You could do the system if they stay together.
Yeah. And then you got Ace and Rascals. That's like 5 teams. That's enough.
That's like half of their main event scene too.
Is there a main event scene in TNA? I don't know. They had to get an NXT guy for this main event of this show.
You know, it's almost like if you would have booked Joe Hendry correctly, you wouldn't have been in this situation. So the culmination between Mike and Santana and Joe Hendry when it eventually happened wouldn't have been so bad. But here we are.
I digress. But speaking of the Northern Armory, we got for the TNA International Championship. It's going to be the inaugural champion, Steve Maclin, making his first defense against his former friend, now bitter enemy, Eric Young. We've seen over the last couple of months this Eric Young, Steve Maclin drama been going down. At the end of last year, these two came together as a team to fight against the Northern Armory when it was led by Josh Alexander along with Sinner and Saint. But when Josh Alexander made the decision to leave TNA Wrestling, it was Eric Young that swooped in and adopted Sinner and Saints as his own and took over the Northern Armory, defeating Josh Alexander in his final matchup in the company. But due to that, it was Steve Maclin who kind of felt betrayed by Eric Young a bit, forming a team and aligning with the men that they fought so hard against. They had formed a tag team of their own, which Eric Young thought that would mean that Steve Maclin would want to join the Northern Armory and be a part of his unit with them. We've seen over the last couple of weeks, Eric Young and the Northern Armory Armory have gotten involved in certain matches for Steve Maclin, have tried to help him, but more times than not have usually cost him matches. But when Eric Young made it to the finals of the TNA International Title Tournament, he met Steve Maclin once again in a three-way matchup involving AJ Francis. Maclin avenged his loss to AJ Francis by hitting him with the KIA to pin him to win that three-way. But due to the pre-match stipulation, the person who didn't get pinned gets a one-on-one matchup at Rebellion. So here we are. It was last night on TNA Impact that the two former friends shared a drink by a bonfire together as Steve Maclin was writing some killer bars in his rhyme book, but he did not look in his cup as Eric Young roofied this man. He passed out and Eric Young burned his rhyme book. So now it's personal. I added that last part, but what have you thought about this story that's been going on about Eric Young and Steve Maclin that we've seen kind of stemming from last year when they formed this alliance together into this year?
If Steve Maclin don't call the Ghostbusters and get this apparition of Eric Young up out of here, bro, like, I'm voting for Steve Maclin for a few reasons. One, TNA has been slowly yet surely pushing Steve Maclin to be a part of the conversation, to be in their main event scene. Whether he's been champion or come up right short, he's always the guy sniffing around the championship. He just won the championship. Eric Young is an amazing performer, and I think he deserves all his flowers. That being said, in this storyline right now, this old man can lose. He could lose. He could leave Steve Maclin alone, and you roofied him. So what kind of message are we sending to young men? Roofie a man the day before his match?
You know? Like, what's wild out here? He's wild out here.
And you burned his rhyme. Steve Maclin said he's been, because in the same regards as TNA has shown the utmost respect and care to Mike Santana's sobriety, they've also shown the utmost respect and care to Steve Maclin coming home as a combat veteran, dealing with mental health. So he could have been writing down his real life journal, and you gonna burn it? Yo, you better call Ghostbusters and get Slimer out of here. He's doing a lot. All right. I want to say Maclin. I think Maclin should retain, but I would be high surprised if Northern Armory don't come out and decide to cheat.
They're old Canadians. Those Canadian cheats.
Listen, I can't say nothing about Canada. I'm trying to go there. Oh, Canada.
Hey, I'm part Canadian, so I can say it. But I'm gonna go with Steve Maclin to pick up the victory here. He just won the title. You don't have him lose in his first matchup, but then again, it's TNA. So
unless it's Sasha Banks.
Ugh. Don't remind me of those days. We got I Make Beast who also agrees he's going with Steve Maclin, but Hassan says he votes for Eric Young. So a difference of opinion there. That's talk about
possibility though, for real. Like if Northern Armory cheats, which that would suck. I wouldn't want that for Steve Maclin, but
there's a chance. So you're telling me there's a chance. So then we'll talk about the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championship matchup. This is one of the more interesting matchups on this show, where I feel like there's an argument to be made for a bunch of these teams, but you're going to have the Elegance brand, Ash and Heather by Elegance, defending the titles against WWE NXT's Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson of Metaphor, the former champion Spitfire, Danny Luna and Jody Threat, and WWE NXT's own Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley. It was the Elegance brand who won the titles from Spitfire back at Sacrifice in a 3-on-2 handicap matchup. After the win, they were confronted by the Meta Girls, who showed up at Sacrifice and then confronted them on TNA Impact. They were interrupted by Spitfire, who said they wanted another title opportunity, and then were also interrupted by Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley. Over the last couple of weeks, we've seen the Elegance brand suffer some key losses, in particular Ash by Elegance going on vacation, which left Heather to have to team with Maggie Lee, which they suffered some tag team losses you a couple of these challengers here. And then in a heat of the moment, after being bombarded by demands for a title opportunity, Heather by Elegance made the mistake of saying that she would defend it against all of the women in a four-way matchup, and she was chastised by Ash by Elegance, who gave her the mathematical breakdown of why this is a bad idea. Check out our TNA post show where I gave you the Steiner math of why this is a great idea, because their percentages just went up. That is why I am going to go with the Elegance brand to retain. Cresta, what have you thought about the build and this? What do you have winning?
So jokes aside, I support women's wrestling, and this is going to be my women's match of the night. All of these teams are really good. From what I've seen from Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolan, sports entertainment. I like Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend. Listen, Black Girl Magic aside, these bitches is tough and they're mean, and I live. I love Spitfire. Ash by Elegance, I can take it or leave it. That being said, I think the Elegance brand wins here too, man. Because, like, they're going to cheat. I already know they're going to cheat. So they're going to cheat, right? But TNA, you already had Joe Hendry pinned at WrestleMania. Why not put the tag titles on the Meta Girls? Hear me out. Your women's division consists of Ash by Elegance and Heather by Elegance, a Franken team, and Spitfire, also a Franken team. Besides those two girls, who do you have? Lei Ying Lee and Zaya Brookside? Another Franken team?
Yep, that's it. I would say Spitfire's an actual team now because they told the story with them.
Yeah. But when you had an actual tag, like, I don't want to bring up the influence or like the Iconics, but you had actual women tag teams and now you don't.
Yeah.
So why not? Yeah. Why not? We're not doing nothing in that division anyway. I think the Meta Girls should have it, and I think it's a good shout for not the X division, the Knockouts division in TNA. The Knockouts division is stacked, and that's, in my opinion, is the best women's division North America. I don't care if you disagree, because a lot of your favorites couldn't hold the candle to some of those girls, and now that Jordan Grace is gone, y'all have to fight with her, okay? That being said, let's replenish the stack. You still got Masha there, but Grace is gone. Let's get another thick girl up in there. Put eyes on it. Not everyone in NXT is going to stay in NXT forever. Not everyone in every indie promotion is going to stay there forever. So why not bolster up your women's division, something that's been a backbone, and put eyes on the product? Again, you already had Joe Hendry pinned at WrestleMania, so I don't want to hear nothing about self-respect. I don't want to hear it. Put it on those Meta Girls, because NXT is cowards, and I think stand by your guns with the women. I would put it on the Meta Girls. I think it's a good look for everyone involved. Everybody involved. NXT is being cowards because maybe y'all don't think they got it. Okay, these girls got it. Now what? Everyone's a winner. You elevate those titles, and we could get some actual tag teams in the Knockouts division. That's just me. But again, I feel in my scrot that Ash by Elegance is gonna win. So that's just me.
I mean, they are. That's why I'm going for them. I would love the Meta Girls to win, but they don't ever win. They get all these title opportunities, all these tag team title shots, and they don't win not one of them. I would love to be wrong, and I will be happy. And I will be on here and say I was wrong.
Hell yeah, me and SP3 go eat crow together. Like, this is some good crow. We was wrong.
I'm gonna put some hot sauce on the crow. I'm like, oh, this is some good crow.
Tastes like Popeyes.
They got that good crow. It ain't that chicky. But yes, I'm going to go with the Elegance brand here. You're going with the Meta Girls. But this is the match that I think everybody.
No, I'm going with the Elegance brand. I am.
Oh, you're going with the Elegance brand? Okay.
I in my brain, Elegance. In my heart, metaphor.
Don't worry. I'll have a heart versus brain moment in a couple of matches here. But first, we got to talk about the match that I think I'm looking forward to the most on this card. And many people say is the best rivalry in TNA wrestling right now. It will be a Falls Count Anywhere matchup. Mike Santana goes one-on-one with Mustafa Ali. Ever since Mustafa Ali has returned to TNA Wrestling, he has been a thorn in the side of Santana. interrupting him in his return on the January 23rd edition of Impact. He has then even invaded his space, invaded his AA meeting, and made it a whole big show for himself, talking about himself, talking up himself, and how he can help the people at the AA meeting. And he has used Santana's addiction against him. The great segment that they did prior to Sacrifice, where he poured him a drink after him and his campaign members, the Great Hands and Tasha Steelz, jumped Santana. And then at Sacrifice, he used the distraction of his campaign to pick up a victory over Mike Santana before taking one of the fans' beer and leaving it in the ring for Santana. Then they had their rematch on the live edition of Impact following Sacrifice, where Santana looked like he was on the verge of victory before Ali went running and left through the crowd and left with his campaign. Santana has gone on as far as to attack the members of his campaign as well, especially after Ali made one of Santana's friends fall off the damn wagon. He made him relapse, because he apparently was in a car accident and he did kill somebody. So I don't know how much of a good person. But hey, anyway, some people make mistakes. So this has been a very interesting story, a very well-layered story, with Ali being very jealous of everyone viewing Santana as the next guy up when he feels that he should be the next TNA World Champion, while Santana has been dealing with all the conflict, all the doubts in his head due to, his journey, coming back from addiction, coming back from the run in AEW and coming into TNA to reestablish himself as one of the best in the world. And it all culminates here, Falls Count Anywhere, at TNA Rebellion this Sunday. I have loved this rivalry. I said that this has been the best TNA rivalry in a couple of years. It's been a couple of years since they had this well done, this well writing, and like you said before, the respect and the kind of the layers that they've given to this type of story, which deals with addiction and coming back and grief and everything else that's involved here. I think it's been so well done, and it needs to continue. So that's why I'm going with Mustafa Ali for the win. Cresta.
I mean, first and foremost, us the fans, we win. No matter who wins, we win. We win. And it's shit like this is the reason why I still watch TNA, because when y'all be hooping, y'all the best. Y'all the best. We the best. And also I want to point out, Mustafa is such a nice person in real life.
He is.
And this character he's playing, what a piece of garbage. What a piece of garbage. Oh my God, what a piece of garbage.
He's the only person that I interviewed who didn't call me SP3. He called me Mr. Pilar. He said my shoot last name. Called me Mr. Pilar.
Damn, if you call me by my shoot last name, I'm like, who told you that? Most people don't even know my name is not Cresta. The first name I'll give you, but my last name, leaning real close. Who told you that? All right, pal. All right. I personally feel, even with the shenanigans, this should go Santana. And this should be a rubber match. There should be a third match. There should be a fourth match, a fifth match, a sixth match. But I think there needs to be a third match in this trilogy. And the only way to do that, in my opinion, without making Santana look like a loser, which I don't think he will, no matter what, even with all the cheating that is going to happen. That is going to happen. Ortiz, please come back. Now's the time we need you. Anyway, I have to put it out there. I would be remiss, okay? Because Homicide's retired. Okay? I'll be remiss if I didn't say, I know that these guys ain't banging with each other right now, and that's fine. People don't always have to get along, but if there was ever a time you wanted to pop the crowd, and me, it's crowd, hi, it's me, that would be it. So I'm going to say Santana here. We win. This match is going to continue because I think there is a more interesting story to be told. If Ali loses here, who you going to blame now? Your cabinet, like you did again with the good hands, like you did before? And then everything Santana's saying coming the truth. So this way, when you do have to wrestle Santana for that third time, it's mano-a-mano, whether it's a cage match or otherwise, but it's just going to be you and Santana.
I just want Ali to win because I don't want Santana to beat him until after Ali wins the world title. Ali should be the world champion. He shouldn't. This should not be like a mid card matchup or middle of the card. This should be the main event of TNA Rebellion. This should be for the
Ali
TNA World
versus Joe
Championship
Hendry would
already.
But I don't want to see that because I don't want either Ali or Joe Hendry to lose. Listen, you're putting me in a compromising position, okay? I'm a believer, if you will, okay? I can't.
A believer.
I believe in Joe Hendry, man. We believe, it's a weave, Lakers in 5. Like
Lakers in 5. Joe Hendry in 5.
Joe Hendry in 5, man.
All right, and now TNA once again is doing a triple main event for TNA Rebellion. We'll first talk about the first one here for the TNA World Tag Team Championships. It will be Matt and Jeff, the Hardys, defending against Nick and Ryan Nemeth. It was back at ahead of Sacrifice. There was a big 10-man tag team steel cage matchup with Matt Hardy and Joe Hendry leading the charge against the System. Matt was able to choose anyone to be on the team. Ryan Nemeth was trying to propose himself to be part of the team, and then he even suggested his brother being part of the team. Matt Hardy made the call to Nick Nemeth to invite him to be on his team in the 10-man tag team steel cage matchup, but then he also informed him that no one liked his brother and no one wanted him on the team. Nick accepted the invite onto the team, but he never forgot that phone call. So when they picked up the win at Sacrifice in the main event, it was Ryan Nemeth who was at ringside, who jumped into the steel cage, locked the door behind all the other baby faces who left out, leaving Nick and Matt in the ring, where Nick Nemeth turned heel for the first time in TNA, laying into and bloodying Matt Hardy in a violent scene. Nick and Ryan Nemeth then explained that Nick Nemeth was the one who made TNA exciting again, made TNA a big thing again, but the Hardys tried to steal the spotlight from him. So he won't allow that, and he would make sure that Nick and Ryan Nemeth are forever known as the greatest brother tag team of all time, which the Hardys wanted to help them in that goal by challenging them for a matchup at TNA Rebellion. And of course, we'd be amiss if we didn't bring up the hilarious Hardy Compound matchup from last night's TNA Impact, which featured Jeff Hardy as Will-O-the-Wisp dancing to Not Like Us. Dun, dun, dun.
Unlike we are.
Oh yeah, unlike we are. Dun, 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 dun. Unlike we are. Unlike we are.
I'm not trying to get sued, baby.
What have you thought about this rivalry that stems from the big heel turn of Nick Nemeth at Sacrifice, and who wins on Sunday to you?
Is it bad that I don't care who wins?
You just want to see more Hardy Compound stuff.
Low key, high key, that was the most interesting Ryan Nemeth has ever been in my entire life. I mean, my big brother pops me because I'm immature, but that was
big
pretty funny.
Brother,
My big brother will be back in 3 days. I thought they would love me. They just booed me. I think there are two things at play here. I think it depends on how long the Nemeths contract is for. If they're about to leave, the Hardys retain. That being said, the Hardys could lose here. The Hardys could absolutely lose here. And back to the tag division debacle. Besides the Hardys and now the Nemeths, we got the Rascals, which are now trying to be a trios. Who else?
The System.
Oh, the System, which are now trying to be a trios. You know what I mean? Like,
hey, we don't have trios titles yet. We
Okay.
booked the trios titles for them, but they don't have them yet. So.
Yeah, I like how he said yet.
Don't have them yet. Not yet.
I do think the Nemeths retain here with everything that's been going on with TNA's partnership with WWE. I feel like the Hardys are not long for this world in TNA. I will also say I want them to drop it so Jeff could come to the cookout and Matt Hardy can continue making TikToks with his wife. Bro, side note, he did a TikTok with his wife where she was asking what Pokemon it is, and he said Snorlax was everything. He was like Charizard. I was like, that's Starmie. What are you talking about? bro, what are you? And he just did it with the happiest smile. He called Diglett Dildor.
My God. Diglett.
So at this point, he said it and then smiled like, I have no idea what I'm talking about. So stop wrestling. Your future is in content creation. I want you to name every Pokemon, because 5 Pokemon were Snorlax.
This is also Snorlax. This is the next evolution of Starlax.
His daughter in the background yelling at him, "No, Dad!" Christ, what a loser.
I know how he feels. My daughter yells at me all the time too. So
you're in an abusive relationship. That was a joke.
I'm gonna go.
Everyone, that was a joke. That was a joke. Okay, she's 5. She can't beat him up. Well, maybe
exactly.
She could. I don't know.
No, she could. But it's not a abusive relationship yet. But I am going to go with the Hardys to retain, only because I feel like this is not a big enough event yet to have the Hardys lose the titles. I think the Hardys will hold on to these titles at least until Slammiversary. Slammiversary feels like you're gonna need the Hardys to sell out USB Arena. That's a 10,000 seater. That's gonna be the biggest crowd for a TNA event ever, maybe, if they are able to sell out that joint. So they're gonna need the Hardys as the TNA Tag Team Champions going into that show, in my opinion.
I hate that you're right. No, I agree with that, but I will also say they should have did the Hardy compound for the pay-per-view rather than the night before. I mean, on Thursday. Because this match on Sunday, I would have guffawed. If I'm in the arena and I have to pee, there are definitely points in there where I could pee and not lose the plot. Okay?
No. You're right. You could just leave out.
This Sunday.
Yeah, I agree. You probably should have been a Hardy compound match.
Because whatever is about to happen on Sunday is not going to be as good as that was. Whatever's happening on Sunday is not going to be unlike us. It's going to be unlike us on Sunday.
Unlike we are. Unlike we are. Oh, man. Hey, you got to live up.
Now. Unlike we are is our new thing. Dun, 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 dun. Unlike we are.
So you crip walk to not like us, but you do the bop, the Willow the Wisp bop to unlike we are.
You're trying to get the titles, but you're probably gonna flounder.
Oh man,
I want to write that whole rap now. Oh my God, why is this happening to me? You trying to challenge us, boy? Ain't you tired? Trying to take the tag titles, boy? You're gonna flounder.
But you're gonna flounder. Unlike we are.
I'm hot again.
We are.
Bro, I can't do anything with you ever. We'll never get. I got the fan out. Unlike we are. Charting YouTube wide.
We got next up the second of our 3 main event matches this Sunday for the TNA Knockouts World Championship. It's going to be Masha Slamovich defending against Tessa Blanchard. Masha Slamovich, of course, won the TNA Knockouts World Championship back last year at Bound for Glory. She's picked up victories over Jordynne Grace, Tasha Steelz, Cora Jade, Rosemary, and has turned back every challenger to her title, but no challenger has made it more personal than Tessa Blanchard. Tessa Blanchard returned to TNA last year in December, attacking Jordynne Grace. She picked up a victory over Jordynne Grace at Genesis, then picked up a victory over Lei Ying Lee at Sacrifice. But ever since then, she set her sights on the TNA Knockouts World Championship and has attacked Masha Slamovich on several occasions, but took it one step too far when she traveled to New York City and attacked Masha's trainer, Johnny Rodz, at his gym. Masha checked on Johnny Rodz, and ever since then, she has been crazed with bringing back the old Masha, the bloodthirsty Masha, who wants revenge for Tessa. So this one should be physically intense. It should be hard hitting. And unfortunately, I love Masha. I've hung out with Masha. This is True Hill Heat, so I can say the real thing. It's not Fightful. I don't have to be professional. I smoked a little with Masha. I've even visited her crib, Masha Slamovich. She's one of the peoples. So I wanna root for Masha. My heart is saying Masha, but I also like being right. And my head says they're gonna put this damn title on Tessa Blanchard. So I might as well just say it. Cresta.
Masha slam a bitch. Masha make a sandwich. Masha slam that bitch. Masha in 5. Listen, I gotta tell you, somebody said the Crimson Chin wins, and as someone who used to watch that show, the Crimson Chin would never. Okay, the Nega Chin maybe, but the Crimson Chin would never. He would never. Okay. That being said, TNA. I'm trying to find a respectful way, because again, this isn't Fightful, but also wrestlers do be DMing people. I've made it very clear I'll fight. If you could see the writing on the wall where people chanting she's a racist, Tessa the door, Tessa, we coming for you, I would take that heat and elevate Masha, who the fans absolutely adore, who even on paper would beat the brakes off of Tessa Blanchard. There's no way that I've seen Tessa Blanchard, that I could see Tessa Blanchard getting snowplowed through a door like Jordynne Grace and getting up. Let's not even talk about her New Japan stuff. You know what I mean? Let's not even talk about her other stuff that she was doing. On paper, Masha should win this. It'll be a stiff match. And I am a Tessa hater. Let me be clear, because she hates me. I'm unlike her. I'm not like her.
She's not like us, but we're unlike her. Unlike
her. Okay. That being said, with the way TNA has been giving her 2018, 2019 Roman treatment, y'all gonna like this girl. I can absolutely see it happening. But I'm also looking ahead. If TNA wants to TNA, that's fine. But TNA is also doing this cucking storyline with WWE. So you're going to want your women's knockout championship interacting with Cora Jade, and they're chanting she's a racist? Not on my NXT television. Or what if she's going to interact with somebody else, or Azuxis or Sol Ruka? Not on my NXT television, and having people chant she's a racist? Not for me. I could take a lot. I could even take you pinning Joe Hendry on WrestleMania. But be astronomically for real here. TNA is going to TNA, but don't let it mess with your pockets, sweetie. The Knockouts division has been a staple for you. You brought her here, ain't nothing we could do about it. Don't know why you did it. Did we forget that she didn't want to do the job to drop the championship, and that's why she had to let it go? And we had Eddie Edwards being the heart and soul of TNA? It wasn't just the racism. like, please, let's get into that, bro. That being said, Masha could win. If Masha won TNA, bro, yo. TNA, I knew you had it in you, but I don't see it. I want to see it, but I don't see it. I see TNA doing like this. What Moitas? What? She's the best girl around. That's what they've been doing. That's what they've been doing. So
I said who my head is gonna win this, but I do agree that Masha Slamovich deserves the world Masha Slamovich should win this matchup. You should try to transfer its heat. But it's TNA, guys. And the thing that pisses me off the most about Tessa is that she's still good. That matchup with Jordan Grace was one of the best women's matches in North America so far this year. She's still good in the ring. It just pisses me off that she's her. If we can take all of her skills, all of her build abilities, we could put it in a basketball like the Monstars and transfer it to someone good, I would be very happy.
Not the Monstars. No. Like, I'm going to piggyback with you. I don't want everyone to say, like, well, Cresta's being I'm not being a hater. The girl can wrestle. I won't take that away from her. They had something special there when she was TNA champion.
Yeah.
But then it came out that you was doing all this fuck shit, and rather than be like, hey, yo, I was wild, I was young, dumb, stupid, because Shawn Michaels was never that bad, but everyone's like, Shawn Michaels is a piece of crap. He's a piece of crap. But even after, he was like, yo, I lost my smile, but also I lost my mind. So I'm sorry, y'all. All you got to do is apologize. Even if you like, that wasn't me, maybe it was me, please forgive me, Tessa in 5, people might be able to forgive you. People might be able to forgive you, but you're not even trying to do that. You'll be like,
She hitting us with the Shaggy. It wasn't me. It wasn't me on the shower. It wasn't me.
She not even hitting us with the Hogan with the just don't record me. She not even doing that.
I'm sorry. I got recorded. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry that you felt that way. She not even doing that. She not even doing
she was
that,
like,
bro.
I won't say sorry. I didn't say anything. I didn't do anything.
She's doing the Beyonce, sorry. I ain't sorry. The fuck? Why I look like apologizing? A loser?
And it's too late to apologize now. So hey, here we go. But let's talk about the final of 3 main events for the TNA World Championship. Is going to be Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. Defending the title against the Call Your Shot Gauntlet winner, cashing in his trophy and his guaranteed title shot, Frankie Kazarian, and former NXT champion Ethan Page. Joe Hendry has a bunch of history with both of these men. He's been feuding with Frankie Kazarian since last summer. These two men were feuding when Joe Hendry originally debuted in NXT last year. Joe Hendry was able to beat Frankie Kazarian before he got his title shot against Nick Nemeth back at Bound for Glory. Eventually, he defeated Nick Nemeth for the title at Genesis, but on that same show, it was Frankie Kazarian who won the Call Your Shot Gauntlet, and as T's cashing in on many occasions. It was in a brawl after Frankie Kazarian defeated Elijah on TNA Impact that Joe Hendry suffered a torn rotator cuff, and knowing that the champion was injured, Frankie Kazarian said he was deciding to cash in his Call Your Shot Gauntlet at Rebellion in his hometown of Los Angeles, California, because he thought that he can win the title by forfeit. But unfortunately, Santino had already talked to another contender, and that contender was former TNA star Ethan Page, who owns a pinfall victory over Joe Hendry for the NXT Championship last year at No Mercy. He went to Santino and pitched being the challenger for Hendry at Rebellion. So because Frankie was cashing in the Call Your Shot Gauntlet, the match was officially made a 3-way. Can Joe Hendry overcome his injuries and the loss at WrestleMania to pick up the victory and retain the TNA World Championship? Or will we see a new champion in Los Angeles this Sunday? Cresta, what have you thought about the build to this matchup? Who wins in the main event? He appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
I am the Joe Hendry stand here. There are only 2 options for this, and I don't like the second option, but it's a possibility. 1, Joe Hendry retains. Stop playing with me, okay? Stop playing with me. So what he lost on WrestleMania, okay? He looked damn good. I'm going to be a Joe Hendry apologist. And we got the TNA title on WrestleMania. So if I'm going to go out there and lose, the very least my home promotion can do for me is have you in here. I would think so.
I would hope so. But it's TNA.
That being said, Frankie Kazarian could absolutely win here. So he could lose to Mike Santana at the USB Arena. And I hate that for me because somebody in chat said it, and I agree. Joe Hendry is 1 foot out the door, but I would be too. Look at how you treat me, okay? Look at how you treat me. I did the job. I did the work. I was the shit boy for a long time, and I lost to Ryan Nemeths. Okay? So the least y'all could do for me is have me win here. But I already said I'm leaving. So they might be like, yo, it might be time for you to go do the tag team gimmick with Elijah, pal. So you and Elijah can go set off into the sunset because Mike Santana is next up. In my hardest of hearts, I believe in Joe Hendry, but I also watch TNA. So I'm going to put faith in TNA. Let me get my spoon because I don't want to harm you, but I'll whack you, okay? Put it on Joe Hendry. Keep it on Joe Hendry. But there's a 50% chance that Kaz does take it here and pins Ethan Page.
Hey, at least they're protecting Hendry that way, right? Right?
I suppose, but if I'm Ethan Page, that'll make me like, that's why I left this chicken shit. That's why I left. That's why I left.
That's why I left this damn promotion. You got me being pinned out here, just visiting.
I come back and it's how y'all repay me. Let me pin Kazarian. He's literally doing nothing.
I said today on the post show, the fact that Kazarian lost in the Unbreakable tag team matchup, then he lost last night in the tag team main event. I was like, they really about to have Kazarian win this shit, right? Right? They keep talking about the percentage of the Call Your Shot Gauntlet winners who have cashed in. It's like 5 out of 6. You think they're going to break that down to 5 out of 7? No, they're probably more likely to make it 6 out of 7. So
I'll be real with you.
I don't know.
They have been regurgitating WWE. Remember when I forgot, I think it was Baron Corbin was like the first person to fail their Money in the Bank cash in. And then after that, the next few people were just like, yo, get up out of here, pal.
Yep.
I don't know, man.
I think that Frankie Kazarian is winning this damn title on Sunday.
SP3, wake up. I don't like this. I don't like that. I don't like that, but I agree. Yo, Scorpio Sky debuts the help page that goes to NXT.
No, he debuts in TNA to help Frankie Kazarian win the title. That's his boy. They're close enough.
This is the worst stream I've ever been a part of.
SCU.
I mean, yeah, but like, you know what? This is TNA. Anything's possible. Why would you say that out loud? Why did I read that aloud?
I'm just saying. He mentioned Scorpio Sky. If Scorpio Sky's debuting here, it ain't to go to NXT Ninja Mortis. It's to be in TNA, and that would be with Frankie Kazarian, who he's closer in. That's his best friend. Not Ethan Page. They were just a tag team in AEW because Tony Khan decided them to be together.
Whew. This is I forgot Ethan. There's Ethan Page in AEW?
Yeah. The Men of the Year. They were the Men of the Year.
Yeah. Sometimes I forget Tony Khan deserves to get punched in the stomach. I forget sometimes.
And no, Ninja Mortis, Kaz did not broke SCU up and left his boys. They lost a matchup against the Young Bucks, him and Christopher Daniels, and they couldn't team anymore. That's how they broke up. It wasn't because Kaz left the company. They were already broke up when he left the company. If you gonna state things like that, at least get it right. I'm just saying. That's not what happened.
This is exasperating. This is sports infuriating, sports depressing. I want Joe Hendry to win, but I think that there's enough intrigue, there's enough storyline where Kaz, I tell you who's not winning, Ethan Page. I tell you who's not winning. I saw someone in the chat be like, oh, well, if you get it on Ethan Page, it'd be easier for him to go to NXT. Joe Hendry already said he leaving. He WWE.
Yeah,
he said back.
Yeah. He don't need an easier path to NXT. He going to NXT. What you mean?
Nah. He's going there. So realistically, it's either you keep it on Hendry and keep that momentum going, because that crowd went crazy for Joe Hendry last night. That crowd went absolutely bonkers for him.
Yeah.
Or you take it off of him now, and again, you do that whole tag team thing with Elijah, or have Elijah turn on him, or whatever it is, for Mike Santana to be next up. Ali or Mike Santana being next up makes the most logical sense booking-wise, but again, I know we joke, but TNA sometimes says, I see your logic in Sugma, and I'd be like, all right, you're right. You got it, pal.
That sounds all good, but we're TNA. You forgot that.
Yeah, so I think I don't like that it's a high percentage that Kazarian could win here. I'm still going to go with Joe Hendry, but there's a high percentage Kazarian wins here.
I agree. It's either one of those options, and we shall see. I am going with Kaz to get the win. I'm hoping TNA proves me wrong. Once again, with the last two, I'm just going with TNA. Just prove me wrong, please. But that brings us to the end of our TNA Rebellion 2025 preview. I got to thank Cresta so much. I've had so much fun doing all these shows with you and talking some TNA, because I know how much you love this promotion, love talking about it as well. So always have fun talking to you about it. But let everybody know where they can follow you on social media, where they can see the TNA Impact Post show and all of your great content around. Follow her. She's the best follow in the game. Cresta, the floor is yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Cresta Starr. Pleasure to meet you. If you're first time seeing me, I cover TNA, the post show over on Fightful. Yes, the one with Mr. Sean Rossop. Sometimes SP3 is with me, but most of the time it's myself and Joe Pearl. And on Saturdays, I go over all things AEW Collision with myself, Rick, and Iridian over again on Fightful. You can find me here on YouTube at Cresta Starr. Slap Grapple Pop is my podcast that I have about wrestling. It is on a hiatus, but you can catch all 7 episodes up until I come back, baby girl. Hop in. Anywhere you can type Cresta Starr on social media. You can find me, except for Twitter, where it's Cresta the Star, like Megan the Stallion, because Elon Musk is the hater. Well, WWE India is, but that's another story for another time. You guys are fantastic. You look nice. I hope you find $20 on the floor. Your butt looks fat as hell today. SP3, thank you so much for having me. And by the way, shout out to SP3. I have so much fun talking about wrestling with him. When it's time to be serious, both of us put on our serious glasses, but our glasses are also party glasses, so we're laughing half the time too. I have so much fun doing stuff with you, SP3. So thank you so much for having me.
Always a blast talking with Cresta. She is one of the best, just entertainment. My face hurts every time I do a podcast with her, which I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm going to have to do a lot of this. But thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for joining us today. We appreciate y'all. Drop the thumbs up on this video. Share it with your friends. Subscribe if you are new. Comment down in the comment section below if you're watching us on demand. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. You can follow the game Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at TrueHillHeat. Patreon.com/TrueHillHeat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content. The best way to support us when we're not live here. And we got plenty of great content for you to enjoy right now on the channel. You could check out AE Ramble episode 195, Bet on Hate, reviewing Wednesday's AEW Dynamite with me and Jimmy Macaram. We also did a pay-per-view preview for Stardom All-Star Grand Queendom 2025, which is also on Sunday. That was with Scott E. Wrestling. Gave us a lot of information about all the stories going down at one of the most anticipated pay-per-views in Joshi Wrestling. I will be live tomorrow right here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time with the True Hill Heat flagship podcast. It will be myself, True Draw Josh, and the return of Miss Chrissy Love. We'll be talking all about this week in wrestling with all the WrestleMania fallout, the power struggle between The Rock and Triple H, and our special guest will be you. You could join us if you're in the live chat. We're going to be sharing the link. A couple of you will be joining us to talk about WrestleMania, your thoughts on The Rock versus Triple H, who's going to win the power struggle there. So join us live for that. that. And I'll also be live in 1 hour over on True Hill Heat Sports and Entertainment to talk all about Power Book 3, Raising Canaan, Season 4, Episodes 6 and 7. So joining me and Miss Chrissy Love for that as well. But thank you so much, Cresta Starr. Check out our WrestleMania preview from last week. You can see how we got all our predictions wrong or right. Check that out as well. That was a good time. But thank you so much to Cresta. Thank you to all of you who joined us live. Appreciate you. So for Cresta, it is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. This has been our TNA Rebellion 2025 preview. We are signing off until next time.